everyone, Reaper here again. This time I'm here doing my what haul number is this? I wish I wrote it down. But anyway, this is my haul video. This is the haul video I've been planning for the summer. Actually planning for much longer than that. My third anniversary haul on YouTube. Yay. So this haul is strictly Spider-Man books that I've been accumulating for the last year and a half. And yeah, I finally want to show them off to everybody. Nothing, ultra Batman haul proportions, but some pretty cool things. And I'll talk a little bit about some issues, and I'll try to breeze through some issues, not to make this haul, too painful to watch. But yes, before I get to that, I wanted to just give a couple shout outs. I like giving some shout outs. Once again, this is my third anniversary on YouTube of making haul videos. So a lot of people over the years have really supported me. I've made mention to them several times in past videos and so forth. And thank you for all of you that stick with me and watch me, that have been watching some of my non-haul videos. I'm glad that some people have been responding well to them, because I really like doing those. And I definitely see that's where the future of my channel is going to be going. Yes, there will still be haul videos, but I think after next year, the haul videos are going to be few and far between. But more on that at another time. But once again, all of you that have been sticking with me, there's too many to name. There really are. So if I don't mention you, I'm only going to mention a handful. But if I don't mention you, don't take offense to it. It's not because I'm purposely leaving you out. It's just that there's just so many to mention, and I'll try to get to you at another video. But just a couple shout outs. Definitely check out ETA Nick's channel. He came back last week with doing his Wednesday chats, and from what I've seen, I didn't watch the whole thing yet, but from what I've seen with his videos, he's got the green screen behind him, and he's really doing some really cool things. And now Luther Manning, Patrick, he's co-hosting or I don't know exactly. I think he's going to be a regular every week on the Wednesday chat. So if you want an education on comics or want to talk about interesting things, comic related or whatever, definitely check out that chat. Unfortunately, I'm unable to watch those chats on Wednesday due to job changes for this semester at Widener University. But definitely check those guys out. Check the chat out. Check those guys out when they're not doing their chat too. Luther Manning, and he's been a collector for a very long time. Those are the type of channels that I like to watch. I mean, I like to watch a wide variety of channels. Don't get me wrong. So don't take that the wrong way. But I like to watch a lot of the old time collectors. Some of them have been collecting since I've been collecting. Some of them have been collecting a hell of a lot longer than I've been collecting. And those are the people that I like to learn from. Because even though I've been collecting for, 20 some odd years, I'm still learning. And that's one of the things that, a lot of people should keep an open mind about. Just because you've been collecting for a long time, not just with comics, with anything in life, life sometimes is a learning, lifelong learning, as we call it as we call it in college. So that's the way I try to approach things. So definitely check those guys out. Check out the show on Wednesday night. Obviously, check out the great legend, Rob. Great guy. He's been really good to me for a while, and you definitely should check out his Friday Night Truth videos. They're very enlightening. Very enlightening, even if you're not really into some of the things, some of the topics, but I'd keep an open mind on some of the things that he brings up. So definitely check out Rob, and also check out his auctions. He runs auctions twice a month, and so many good people involved with that. Too many for me to remember off the top of my head, but definitely check that out. Check out Great Legend. Brian Spaceboy, he recently had a contest. I think it was over a couple weeks ago, but he's definitely one of the good guys that I like to watch. Definitely keep an eye out for his videos. Jeremy, Trinity Comics, he's part of the Blast and the Stash It crew. Definitely check those guys out, especially Midwest Comic Guy, Comic Man Paul. definitely check out his videos whenever he posts them. I don't know if he posts some new videos as often anymore, but a couple more and then we'll get to the books. I always like to give a shout out to Vince Semperfi guy and the New York Warriors. That includes Big E's Comics, Manny NYC, Jeff Johnson, Marky 316. There's so many others that I'm forgetting. Erod, Eddie the Comic Guy. I don't think he puts out videos as much. Gus, I don't know his last name, but definitely check out their channel and you'll see who I'm talking about. And it's always cool to run into those guys at local cons. I mean, I know some of them are not going to be at the New York Con this year, but it's always cool to catch up with them at other cons up here in the Northeast. And check out this other guy, White Nova Comics, Richard. I believe he's going to be relaunching his channel pretty soon. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I've been keeping an eye out for that, so I'm always checking to see if he posted a new video. So keep an eye out for him. Those are my shout-outs for this video. I know I missed a lot. Missed a lot of good people that have been supporting me over the years. Don't take offense to it. Just off the top of my head, I could do a whole hour-long video just giving shout-outs, but I'll try to get you in other videos, okay? Okay, let's get to the books. I'm going to try to go through this. I always say this. I'm always going to try to go through things quickly, and I usually don't. But here's a couple of books that I picked up within the last year that I'm really interested in because I like the genre. Okay, Spider-Man Noir. This was, I believe, the first series. It was a mini-series of 1, 2, 3. I absolutely love Noir, and that was one of the reasons why I was so attracted to Batman, the early Batmans, the pre-Robins. If you ever read any of the reprints or have the luxury of having some of those pre-Robin Batman stories with Detective Comics, you'll see a big difference in the storytelling, and it's much darker. Just has a really tremendous mood. Now, even with Robin, when he first showed up, it still had somewhat of that mood, but I just love that noir type storytelling, the imagery, like The Crow, the Crow movie, even though some people may say, oh, that movie sucked. Well, maybe it did, I don't know, but I like that sort of atmosphere, like LA Confidential, and those type of movies and storytelling. Those really speak to me and grab my interest, and that is why Spider-Man Noir really piques my interest, because it's just like that, a really dark and gritty world that is a little more realistic, so to speak, than regular Spider-Man. Next book, I'd never had this collection, this book in my collection growing up, but I was finally glad to get it. Sorry for the glare if you get glare. Web of Spider-Man #1, love that cover. And with that, I got the other series, #1, Spectacular Spider-Man #1, another book. I've been collecting for all these years, and I never got #1 of either of those series, so I don't know. Now, here I'm going to try to breeze through these. These are some of the Todd McFarlane, part of the Todd McFarlane run on Amazing Spider-Man. Yet again, as a Spider-Man collector for so many years, I went into phases, of course, and never got them. And I've only recently gotten these over the last year. So here we go. Spider-Man 301. Which one's this? 302. I really, Todd McFarlane and Mark Bagley really made me fans. Their artwork made me fans of Amazing Spider-Man. Like I talked about back in 1993 when I started with X-Men, I was a big Jim Lee fan, Chris Claremont fan, and started collecting those and reprints and tried to get some of the original books that those two were a part of during the Uncanny X-Men and regular X-Men run. Well, guys, looking back at artists like Todd McFarlane and the artist at the time, which was Mark Bagley, really made me a fan of Spider-Man. So to have some of these awesome, memorable covers from the McFarlane. You're getting a lot of glare here from the McFarlane era is truly a treat. Which number is this? 304. It's okay. This cover, it's okay. Not that great. And same thing with this one. Some of them were really good. Some of them are just part of the run. Now, this one I like a lot. The Chameleon. I would love to see the Chameleon in a movie. You know, he made his debut in Amazing Spider-Man #1. I think he was an underused, underappreciated character. He might even be a B character, to be quite frank. But, you know, so was the Vulture. And what they did with him in Spider-Man Homecoming, although I'm not a big fan of Spider-Man Homecoming for various reasons, none of which I'm going to get into, I really liked the Vulture. And I liked the way they used the villains in that. There were several villains. I'm not going to do any spoilers for anybody that didn't see it. I'm not going to say who was in it, but they used several villains. Now, whenever a comic book movie, in my experience, uses a lot of villains like Spider-Man 3, it falls flat. But they did it very well. They had the big villain and they had a bunch of little minor villains that were supporting casts. And they did it, you know, I think they did it really well. It's one of the few movies that had multitude of villains that was played out well. Some more. Not a big fan of McFarlane's Green Goblin, you know. It's okay. It has the McFarlane. Did I say McFarlane before? McFarlane. It has the McFarlane style, but not a big fan. I don't think he lends his strength, his artwork well to the Green Goblin as he does maybe the Lizard, as he does Venom. Spider-Man, of course. I love this cover. Beautiful cover. And the last one I got with the Hydro Man, another D-class villain. But, you know, McFarlane draws him well, I think. Okay, enough with the bullshit. Let's move on to some of the bigger books. Not totally big, but, you know, some of the books you don't find in dollar bins. Or if you do, you're lucky. They're in all different sort of order, okay? This is one, Amazing Spider-Man 136. Ooh, bad glare there. Better here. Where Harry, I believe, becomes the Green Goblin, the second Green Goblin. Another one. I've always had 137 since 1993, but I never got 136. I upgraded this to a better copy, not a big high grade copy, but Amazing Spider-Man 102, The Origin of Morbius. When I first got the first appearance of Morbius back in '93, I got 101 and 102, and they were both in rough shape. I upgraded my 101 because I wanted to upgrade it. You know, I wanted to have a nicer copy of Morbius because I like Morbius, but I never upgraded my 102 until recently. And, you know, who knows? If I see a good deal on a higher grade, I think this is about a 5.0. If I see it on a higher grade, I'll get it. If I don't, I won't get it. Now, I got these because I like the character, although I think some people think he's kind of corny, but I love the artwork. I'm not a big Romita fan. These are 2 Romita covers, but I just love the covers here. I just had to have them. And I've seen them for years, and I always put them off, but when I finally was able to get them for a price I was willing to pay for them, I decided to pull the trigger. And these are recent purchases. Some of these books that I've been showing I've had for about a year now. I just kept putting them off. These I've gotten within the last month. This is 66, right? Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 66. I like Mysterio. I mean, I know he's got a big fishbowl on top of his head, as it's often made fun of in some of the books, but it'd be interesting to see Mysterio in a movie. You know, I know they said that they're going to do villains in the next Spider-Man movie that haven't been seen yet, so you're not going to see the Lizard, you're not going to see the Vulture, or unless he comes back as, you know, Michael Keaton in the background. You're not going to see probably the Green Goblin or Harry Osborn, thank God. You know, because I'm tired of seeing them. Not that I have any ill will toward those characters, but, you know, how many freaking times are we going to see the Green Goblin? But I'd like to see Mysterio. Now, this one right here, this is another cool cover. Love it. The continuation of number 66 with Mysterio. Okay, now, I don't have the first appearance of the Lizard. One day I'd like to get it, but I do have his second appearance. Now, this is an upgrade. I had purchased number 44 back in 1993 when I started to get into Spider-Man, but it was a really beat-up copy. And I just only recently, within the last 6 months, upgraded it to a nicer-looking copy. I mean, not that I'm really big in upgrading. I will upgrade from time to time, but the number 44 that I had from 93 was really, really rough. It was just bad. And I just said, I gotta get another copy, and I did. This is another one I never had before that I always wanted. It sort of like completes my Morbius trilogy. Like I said, I've had numbers 101 and 102 for many years and upgraded them over the years, but I never had 100. And this is such a great cover. Once again, I know I'm not a big Ramita fan, but I do recognize why he's very well liked and why sometimes he is synonymous with Spider-Man, early Spider-Man, just as maybe Ditko. But yeah, I just love the black and the way the white. Oh, sorry, you're getting all glare. It's just that time of day where the sun is positioned. Cool book. Last few. Speaking of Ramita, I believe this was his first issue on the title. This is one where is Amazing Spider-Man 39, where the Green Goblin takes his mask off at the end of the issue, and Peter is shocked to see that it's actually his friend's father, Norman Osborn. I heard rumors about, I don't know if they're probably just that, I heard rumors that Ditko didn't like the idea that Norman Osborn was the Green Goblin. He had other ideas on who the Green Goblin was supposed to be. I don't know. This is just rumors. I don't know how true it is. Here's one I bought last year that I just couldn't wait to show. Amazing Spider-Man 28, the first appearance of the Molten Man. Another one that I never was able to get back when I first started collecting. Just didn't have too much of an interest in the Molten Man, but I purchased this one because of the cover, not necessarily because of the character, the Molten Man. I just love the way this is drawn. It could use a press, this one, but it's in really pretty good. It's in pretty good shape. I would say it's about a 5.0. And the reason why I mention that is because when you see lower grades of this book, you really see it on the cover due to the fact that the cover is black. But when you see higher grade copies of this, it looks nice because of the cover, because of the background. But it's really drawn well. You could see in the light some of the crinkles in it that could be pressed out. But I think it's one of Ditko's nicest covers in his run with Spider-Man. Okay, last two. One of them is an upgrade. I'll save that one for last. But here's another book that I've always wanted since I started collecting, but just never got around to it for whatever reason. Amazing Spider-Man 15, the first appearance of Kraven the Hunter. I was never a real big fan of Kraven the Hunter, and that's probably why I never got around to it. But one of the reasons why I've always wanted it was because I recognized the significance of Kraven the Hunter. It's probably a 3.0 copy. It's nothing to write home about. It's nothing that's going to make me $1 million one day. I don't think you're going to make $1 million on Amazing Spider-Man 15 in any grade, but it's cool to have in the collection, and I'm very happy with it. But one of the big reasons why I wanted it was because this is, I believe, the first mentioning of Mary Jane. Now, that is a character I have always liked, Mary Jane. And, you know, her first appearance sort of was Amazing Spider-Man 25, and then there was the one where you saw her face in 42, and she made all these quasi first appearances, but I believe this was the very first of those quasi first appearances in mentioning her, Mrs. Watson's niece. I think that's the extent of her first appearance in this book. But some would say more importantly, Kraven the Hunter makes his first appearance in this. And the last one's an upgrade. Now you might get a little glare because I have the Mylar bag on it, so just forgive me for that. Not too bad. Amazing Spider-Man 14, the first appearance of the Green Goblin. This is, once again, I'll talk more in length about this particular book in my year 2 of collecting video that's coming out in a couple of weeks. I'll just keep showing it. I had this book, well, Amazing Spider-Man 14, since 1994, but I had a really rough copy. Now, one of my older videos was my top 25 video. It's a really bad video I made a couple years ago. But the reason why I bring it up is because I showed my original copy of this, and it was really rough. I mean, it had tape on it. It had a little writing on it. It was complete, though. It was complete. It had new staples to keep the cover on. And I bought that for, I think, $30 back in 1994. And I've always said, you know, it was really rough. One day I would like to upgrade it, and I did. And I got a really, really, in my view, a very nice presenting 4.0 copy in the new CGC case, which I like these new CGC cases. I have a few of them. I really like them. They're very sturdy and crystal clear, not as foggy as the other ones, or at least the way I think. Well, that is my Super Spidey haul, my 3rd anniversary here on YouTube. Once again, many thanks to everybody that's been supporting me, watches my videos, leaves comments, subscribes to me, and all that stuff. Stays subscribed to me. I really appreciate it, and thank you again for everything. I'm hoping to be around a while longer, hopefully. And I have some more haul videos coming up at the end of the year. As you know, those that know my channel, watch all my videos, I already know what's going to be in my December haul and my February haul and my April haul. And for the most part, even though the October haul is the New York Comic-Con haul, which I'm only planning to get maybe 1 or 2 books, I hope to get something big. But we'll see. If it's too expensive, I'll just wind up getting it somewhere else. But I do have 2 other top 12 books to get for 2017 to show off in that haul, in that video. So it might be a short video, but it's coming. Thanks again. Hopefully in a couple weeks I'll release Year 2, 1994, my comic history. So I hope you all check that one out and continue to support me. Thank you so much for everything. I look forward to watching a lot of your videos, and I will see you out there on the tube. Take care, everyone.